talk a little bit about identity diversity. Again, this is where some of the stuff that we're used to talking about lives. Different parts of our social identity. You've probably seen a diagram similar to this. There's a lot of versions of this out there, and this is pretty good. I don't think it's comprehensive, but it's pretty good. It talks about some of the different things that make up our personal identity, and so some of the ways that we can be different from each other. And at the center of this, and this is a diagram that you've got in your workbook. Is that page 2? Something maybe. At the center here, you've got personality. For better or worse, we all have different personalities. And then you've got your internal dimensions in that first ring. And these are things that are largely determined or at least framed at birth. These are things like race and age and gender and orientation, physical ability and ethnicity. And then you've got a secondary ring around that, or external dimensions. And those are things that are a little bit more about life experience and choices that you've made, but still can play a big role in determining who you are and how you see things. And then one of the things I like about this model is it's also got the organizational dimension around the outside. Within the organization where I work, am I management? Am I union? What work location do I work at? Am I the person that works at the headquarters office? Do I work at the field sales office? Am I the slacker that works from home? You know, all of those things can influence how people see me, how I see other people, how I see my work. So they can be important parts of our identity. And one of the things to keep in mind is that if we spent some time looking at this and I asked each of you to circle the 3 most important dimensions of your identity, we would all have some differences. And so one of the things that's important to do is to continue to think about that and find places at work to share some of that. Why is this part of your identity so important to you? Because it can be very valuable for me to have insight. As a male in the workplace, it can be valuable for me to hear what it's like for you to be a woman in the workforce, because without that insight, I might not understand what it's like. And so one of the things that I think is really valuable is finding ways for people to share those insights. But this is identity diversity. And we're going to actually do an exercise to kind of give a little bit of thought to that. I think it's really important, two comments, and they may seem to be paradoxical. 2 comments on this. I think it's really important for us to make sure that we are taking a broad approach to identity diversity, because I think there's a lot of different kinds of stuff up there that are important and mean stuff. I think at the same time, we want to make sure that we're not sending the message that we can check race and gender and those types of things off the list like they've been fixed now. We still have significantly skewed outcomes by race and gender in this country, significantly skewed. Those issues are not taken care of. They are not over. I don't think we've even gotten to the point where we can have, in most organizations or even on a national level, we can have an honest, candid, functional conversation about race or gender. That's my opinion. But I just want to kind of reemphasize that there's still a lot of work to do in those areas. And taking a broader approach to diversity and identity diversity does not mean that we can start to overlook those things.